So, player ratings time. I've decided to do this separate video instead of doing it on the match review because, I want to talk about the match and then have overnight to think about what sort of ratings we're going to give the players. So let's go on and have a look. This is the Toon Review. Hi everyone, my name is Paul. Welcome back to another video here on the Toon Review. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Do hit the subscription button and the notification bell, and it'll notify you of every time I do upload a video. It is a football channel as well, so lots to discuss on here, including the Premier League and world football, as well as Newcastle United. All in separate playlists, so if you're not a Newcastle fan, you don't have to watch the Newcastle United videos. Anyway, yesterday, if you want to catch me review on the game, I'll put a link below in the description. Everything that I need to say about the matches on there. What we're doing in this video is we're going to concentrate on the player ratings. And we'll start off with the goalkeeper, Karl Darlow. Again, another sound display from him. I think he started the game a little bit shaky with his passing across the back four. He came for a few crosses that he didn't get anywhere near. But I think, as the game went on, he did settle down. He did make saves when he needed to. Wasn't any really spectacular stuff that he needed to do. He was in the right position at the right time. And apart from that one in the last few minutes when it was 2-1, when it looked like it was going to dip over the back of his head, but he managed to tip it over the bar. But all in all, I think a sound performance from Karl Darlow. And I'm going to go with a 7. On to Jacob Murphy. Now, Jacob Murphy is just continuing to perform in this right sort of wing back role that he's been given. He's not put a foot wrong since the last 2 games he's been there. I think he was a lot more attacking minded in the second half, which is what we need to see. He made a couple of cuts inside. He was having a few shots. Fair enough. They weren't really on target, but at least he's having a go. And, he's really starting to sort of open up. And I think a lot of Newcastle fans are really impressed with what we've seen from Jacob Murphy. So I'm going to go with a 7 for him as well. Moving across the back four, Fabian Schär, again, did what he had to do yesterday. I was very impressed with the back three, to be honest. The defended really well, did what they had to do when we were under pressure, cleared away the crosses. Again, standard. I'm going with a 7 for Fabian Schär. Jamal Lascelles, is he carrying injury? Is he not? I think yesterday he didn't really show that he was injured. He just did his job. Again, shot blocking, etc. When he needed to put himself in the firing line, he was there. So again, I'm going with a 7 for Jamal Lascelles. Now, Fernandes, for me, has been one of our top performers all season long. And beyond that, really, I think he's done so well, and he's really cemented his position, which is what he needed to do. I think he's since he's come in, he's one of those players that you don't look back on the match and say, wow, he really stood out. He was fantastic. I think with Fernandes, he's just there, isn't he? He just does his job, gets on with it, nothing flash. But his clearances yesterday and his work rate and everything was there. So Fernandes, for me, that's an 8 out of 10 yesterday. Now, Jamal Lewis on the left, I think is work in progress, isn't he? He's doing good things, but he's liable to do a bit not so good things at times. A few times yesterday during the match, his passing was a little light-weighted. It wasn't getting to where it needed to be. But he did provide that brilliant pass down the line for Fraser to get the cross in for Wilson's second goal. But I still think that he needs to settle in. I think he's going to be a very good left-back? Yes, I do. Or left wing-back, however we're going to use him. But remember, he's playing as a wing-back, so that's a new sort of role accustomed to him. He's more of a left-back. But I'm sure he's played there a couple of times for Norwich when they've gone 5 at the back. But again, I think he just needs to settle and work on his game, and he'll come good. So I'm going with a 6 for Jamal Lewis. If we move into the middle of the park, Jeff Hendrick. Now, he's an enigma, this guy. I mean, he's there, he does his job, but he's not, like I said in the review, he's not like a standout footballer for me. He doesn't control the game like you'd expect from a central midfielder. And he's there, he does a job, and you can't criticise him for that. That's the thing. He does what he needs to do. And I can't criticise him. He was there yesterday. He did what he had to do. He didn't give the ball away, and he was there. So I'm going with a 6 for Jeff Hendrick. Sean Longstaff, however, I thought had a fantastic game. I thought he played very, very well. He was working hard throughout the game. He needs to work on his set pieces, without a shadow of a doubt. He's not our set piece taker, is he? Let's be fair to the lad. You know, some of the free kicks he put in were terrible. The corners, I don't agree with this chipped corner, just floated in. You know, get a bit of whip on it and cause the defence some real problems. But unfortunately, it didn't happen yesterday on the sort of on the free kicks or the corners. Nothing came of them. But Sean Longstaff's work rate, his tackling, his passing in the middle of the park was great, and it was we started to see the old Sean Longstaff again, and I think that's what a lot of Newcastle fans were pleased about yesterday, was the fact that he's starting to look his normal self. So maybe, hopefully, he'll get a run in the team. You know, when Hayden's fully fit, does he come back in? He comes back in for Hendrick for me, not Sean Longstaff. Longstaff needs a run in the team, and he proved that yesterday, that he is a good anchor point for the team. So I've gone with an 8 for Sean Longstaff yesterday. Left-hand side or middle or free row, whatever you want to call it, was St Maximin. Very disappointing yesterday. I'm not sure whether the guy's injured. It's like every time he gets tackled, he's getting up, he's limping, he seems very unhappy at the moment. He did, you know, against Wolves, he didn't look happy. To be honest, none of them looked happy against Wolves, but you know what I mean? He's just not looking like he's enjoying his football like he was earlier. Now, whether that is because he's in pain, he's took a knock, who knows? Only Steve Bruce knows, St Maximin knows, but they're certainly keeping it quiet if he is. He just doesn't look like the player he was earlier in the season. He's had a couple of games now. Yes, he's been out of position, and that is a major factor. He is a left-hand side player who loves cutting inside. He's not a number 10. That's quite clear to see. But he's not enjoying his football at the moment. And that needs to change. So I've gone with a 5 for St Maximin, which I never thought I'd say. But you have to be honest. Other side, Almiron, just fantastic yesterday. That guy's engine just never gives up, does he? He's back defending, he's up front, and there was a particular flick in the second half, which, you know, he was on the left-hand side with St Maximin just in front of him. I don't know if anybody can remember. And it came from, it was in the air, and he just did this delightful little sort of back flick over the head of the Everton player straight to St Maximin. It was just a fantastic piece of skill. But the guy's engine, he just never stops. And he has again shown Steve Bruce what he's been missing when he's been leaving him out. He has to play. He's just such a focal point for our team, and he has to be in that team. Now, whatever tactics we play, we need to utilise this guy to his strengths. And his strengths are his work rate, his skill, his pace. Maybe not his finishing yet, but that can be worked on. But he can score goals, and we know he can because we've seen it. But St Maximin, you know, didn't get going yesterday, but Almiron did, and that kept us going. And he was great to watch. So Miggy gets a 9 from me. And finally, Callum Wilson of the starting 11. What can you say? I mean, he needed. He had 2 chances, he scored 2 goals. It was just the penalty. He kept his nerve so well because Mina was trying to put him off throughout the VAR referral, which I thought was a disgusting piece of sportsmanship. But the referee didn't seem to bother with him. But he held his nerve so well, and the penalty was just put away cool as you like. And the second goal, it's just, like I said in the review, so nice to see a striker who is in the right place at the right time and knows where to be. You know, he's not just standing there waiting for the ball to come to him. He is thinking, where's this ball going to go? And yes, it took a little deflection off Mina, the cross, but it was coming to Wilson anyway. And he's there just to tap it home. And like I said yesterday, it's so nice to have a striker who is going to be in them positions. So Fraser can whip the ball in, and he's just going to know that Wilson is going to be where that ball is going to land. And that's the difference. So Wilson for me gets a 9, continues his fantastic scoring rate. Hayden came on as substitute, didn't really do anything, did he? I mean, he didn't really get himself into the game much. I've gone with a 6 for Isaac Hayden. Other substitute, Fraser, now he did really well when he came on. Obviously made the second goal. I've gone with a 7 for Fraser. I just want to see him from the start in his proper position where he can cause defences all sorts of problems. He's one of these wingers that just gets the ball and runs. And, you know, we haven't had that really since the likes of Ben Arthur, you know, Lauren Robert, Ginola. He reminds me of them sort of players, you know, who just wants to run, take defenders on and whip the ball across. And that's what Wilson will thrive on. He'll love that. And that was already proved at Bournemouth anyway. So I've gone with a 7. He didn't really get enough time to, you know, I know he created the goal. 7 might be a bit harsh. I think even more of an 8, but I've gone a 7. And Andy Carroll came on with 5 minutes to go. Didn't really do anything, did he? He was 5 minutes left in the game. Apart from nearly scoring an own goal, which that would have really, really peed me off had that gone in. But again, Karl Darlow's positioning was fine, and he just caught it out of mid-air. But it was heading in the back of the net, had Darlow been half asleep, which he wasn't, luckily. But anyway, I've gone. I haven't rated him because he wasn't on the pitch long enough to get a rating. And on to our manager, Steve Bruce. Well, this is going to shock a lot of people, but I thought Brucey got it right yesterday. I didn't particularly agree with his substitutions. I know why he did them. You know, he's protecting players, I guess, but you know, the game wasn't really done and dusted. But you know, he did have capable players to come on, and for once he didn't bring Joe Linton on, which was nice. I know I'm not being harsh on Joe Linton, but it's nice to see that he doesn't have to play every single game. But I thought he got it right with the tactics in the second half. First half was just Bruce ball again, and we hate that. We know we hate it, and it's got to stop. But second half, even when we scored, he didn't go back to Bruce ball. He continued to let the players play, let the forwards have their time, and that's what was so good about it. So Steve Bruce gets an 8 for me yesterday, got most of the things right, and we got 3 points, so you can't really complain. So there's my player ratings. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with them. If you would change anybody's rating, then put it in the comments. We'll have a discussion about it. But thanks very much for coming by this video. Again, if you're new, hit the subscription button. Thank you very much to all my new subscribers. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Premier League review of match day 7. But in the meantime, stay safe. Take care. Be strong.